Hey everybody, today we're talking about Wonder Woman, Secrets and Origins, DC's finest. Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent, and today we're reviewing, not an overview, reviewing DC's finest. This is the first volume that came out for Wonder Woman. This is Origins and Omens. This has got Gail Simone in here, and Mark Waid and Mark Andreyko are the writers. So this covers the years 2007 through 2009, collecting Batman 5 of a Kind, Wonder Woman Grace #1, Brave and the Bold #7, Wonder Woman 14 through 35. So there you go. This is a big, thick trade paperback. If you want a decent look at the inside of the contents, there are a couple videos, great ones from Near Mint Condition out there, as well as some shorter ones from The Brave and the Boys and Comics Are Dope. So they got an overview of what's inside here. I actually bought the book and read it because this is, I think, the main Wonder Woman story I was collecting back after college, during college, and this is the first run that I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick up Wonder Woman. I think it started with Infinite Crisis, so I started picking up those tie-ins that were written by Greg Rucka. That run ended. Then you had the new Wonder Woman with Jodi Picoult. I read that one, so that's the volume that this starts with. And we went into Amazon's Attack. And then Gail Simone took over with number 14 and went all the way through 600. They renumbered it, I think, 10 issues later. So I think there's 10 more issues after this for Gail's run, and then you had the 12-issue J. Michael Straczynski one, The Odyssey, where she has leather pants, and that he did not finish. So I think if they do a second DC's Finest, it should pick up after that, and I think they should do the one after and finish up Gail's run, and then collect that Odyssey piece of trash, honestly, and call it a day. Because all of their years run basically from 38 through 2011, so they're not going to do any DC's Finest for the New 52 at this point in time, at least as far as these are scheduled to come out, based on their graphic on the back. That could change, we don't know. But is this book worth picking up? Absolutely, there's some great stuff in here. So the first story is the DC Outsiders 5 of a Kind. You don't really need to know what that is, other than it's Batman said he was going to pick a new Outsiders team at the end of Outsiders number 50, written by Judd Winnick, and they did this 5 of a Kind storyline with a bunch of writers to kind of line up who's going to be in the next book, which was Batman and the Outsiders, which was written by Chuck Dixon. Unfortunately, a lot of those members didn't make it. He set up a team at the end of this, and I don't remember Metamorpho or Shift being on that team. Katana may have been on it. Martian Manhunter, I don't think he was on it. And instead, they subbed in Green Arrow and stuff like that, and Batgirl. So it was a little funky. But as a one-shot, it's perfectly fine because it's just Diana and Grace teaming up as fellow Amazons, saving people, and taking from Grace's point of view how awesome Diana Wonder Woman is. The second story is an awesome little one-and-done here with Power Girl and Wonder Woman, written by Mark Waid, art by George Perez, phenomenal. Bob Wycheck on inks, and this is a story that Brave and the Bold at the time was doing these one and dones, where each issue would you would have one character, they would team up with somebody else, and then that team up person would follow into the next book and team up with another person, but it all kind of built into one big storyline towards the end of that 12 or 13 issues. I think Jerry Ordway finished out that run for George Perez. So this is before Final Crisis, post Final Crisis. So I think George Perez jumped off that to do Legion of Three Worlds, if I believe my DC timeline. Anyway, so then you have Wonder Woman 14, and this kicks off Gail Simone's run. The first 4 issues are drawn by Terry Dodson. I think he has a fill-in in the middle of his 4 issues here, which is kind of funny. Because I remember Terry Dodson being like, oh yeah, he did the first 5 issues with Jodi Picoult and Alan Heinbergs, who is Wonder Woman. He did some of that, and then he kind of jumps off here. Ron Randall doing some of the fill-ins here in between pages in the last 2 issues of his run. That's fine, and that introduces this idea of the Circle, which is, I think, the ongoing villains of Gail's run, even though there's a lot of elements going on at the time. in her run. You have this circle of Amazons who had sworn to protect the Queen Hippolyta at all costs, and then suddenly had a change in values when Diana was made or born out of clay. So they've been imprisoned all this time, and they're finally come back to, wreak havoc now that the Amazons are gone from this world. One thing I do think that's missing out of here is like a storyline recap for where we are in Wonder Woman, because this happens after Amazon's attack, and I have not read Amazon's attack since it came out. It was a terrible event, unfortunately. The art by Pete Woods, I think, was great at the time. He was just coming off the Superman Up, Up, and Away, and I like that style from the time. But yeah, the Amazons kind of disappeared except Hippolyta, and that's not really explained. You don't really need to know what happened in Amazon's attack per se, but there's some stuff like you could go and read a Wikipedia entry, and I think you would be fine. But we move on from the circle, and then you have a wonderful 2-issue storyline with Bernard Chang and the Coons and Green Lanterns. That's fun. And then you get to the main event where you have Aaron Lopresti take over as penciler and Matt Ryan on inks. And those two guys, with some fill-ins from Bernard Chang also, throughout the next 20 issues or so, will take you through the end of the book. And that's really where it gets going. This first storyline is Ends of the Earth, and that's a little funky because it's kind of picking up with the gorilla stuff that happened in the first arc, but you don't know how Wonder Woman ended up in this weird hallucination with Seeker, or whatever he's called, battling against some demon with... oh gosh, who's this guy? This big guy with the horns, Beowulf, and then you also have, I felt like the guy from Skartaris showed up in here towards the end. Oh, Red Claw, which is kind of the DC ripoff version of Conan, right? He shows up. Diana gets the red clawed hand, and then there's some weird vision of the future. All this stuff kind of goes away at the end of his 5 issues. You could take it or leave it. The more important stuff is the stuff with Nemesis, and he's kind of dating Diana at this time, which was established in the Alan Heinberg, Jodi Picoult run before this. So there's a little more history you have to go back to, or just be like, hey, Diana's dating somebody that isn't Steve Trevor. And I think at this time, Steve Trevor was married to Etta Candy, if I picked up on that correctly. Then you've got a little fun 2 issues with Bernard Chang, and they're making a movie about Wonder Woman that she finds offensive, which was a lot of fun. And then you have the main thing where you have the rise of the Olympian with Genocide. That's this character right here. The Olympians are the male equivalent of the Amazons. They're this new race of warrior men that Zeus raises up. They've been gone on some alien trip. I can't remember why. But they basically come back and say, hey, the Amazons are gone. We're going to have a new protector of the realm, and we're going to raise these people, these men, and call them Olympians. And you have Achilles is the leader of the Olympians. That's really not like manifested in this volume. It kind of, the next 10 issues, I think, are the real conclusion of that story. It just barely, that Olympian thing just barely starts towards the end of this DC's Finest. A majority of that after Gods of the Earth is the stuff with Genocide and Wonder Woman battling Genocide, this creature, basically her doomsday, this unstoppable force, and there's some really, really powerful writing in here and some really, really great art from Aaron Lopresti. Like, I don't know if I knew of Aaron Lopresti before reading this Wonder Woman run with Gail Simone, but I definitely took notice after because he does a phenomenal job in this book. So for $40, is this worth reading? Absolutely. I think this is a really great Wonder Woman book. There's a lot of great Gail Simone stuff in here, a lot of great Wonder Woman stuff. And you're dealing with villains that you haven't seen before. These are all new concepts to Wonder Woman. We're not just retreading Circe or Circe, whatever you want to call her, or Ares, or the gods, or anything like that. This is all brand new concepts that Gail is bringing into the Wonder Woman world, and I think that makes it a fun, fresh read for longtime fans of Wonder Woman, or people who are just like, I want to give Wonder Woman a shot. I haven't read many of hers. This is a great 20-issue chunk, basically, for $40. You can get a pretty good Wonder Woman run. There is an omnibus collected of Gail's run, and it collects it entirely, so it's got that little last 10 issues that aren't in here. But if they're going to continue doing DC's Finest, I'm sure next year we'll get the one after that, hopefully, knock on wood, because it would be nice to finish out Gail's run. So let me know what you guys thought of DC's Finest Wonder Woman down in the comments below, and we'll see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.